She stood there for a time, the red rose losing its scent in the chill as she wondered where he was going. She strained her ears to hear him trotting swiftly through the undergrowth, straight into the forest. As the sounds faded away, she bent down and picked up the red rose, placing it in her basket. There was something strange about the rose that she had not noticed before. Another scent that mingled with the sweet perfume. Something sour and rotten. She kept it just the same and continued along the winding trail all the rest of the way through the forest. The walk seemed longer than usual. The wind seemed colder than it ought for that time of year, and her burden seemed heavier with each step. But she continued onward. It was late when she finally arrived, chilled and shivering, at the entrance to her grandmother's cottage. The leaves on the doorstep had been brushed aside, as though her grandmother had been expecting someone. Little Red Hood knocked at the door and called out,
"Good evening, grandmother. It is I, Little Red Hood. I have brought you food and healing herbs, and here is a red rose that I found in the clearing."
A voice called, thin and weak, from within the cottage.
"Come in, dear. Come in. Lift the latch and the door will fly open."
Obediently, Little Red Hood lifted the latch and the door flew open. The room within was dark and she could see nothing. She blinked in the gloom before stepping through the threshold, and she closed the door behind her to keep out the chill. Soft darkness washed over her, and all was quiet and still. She moved forward, her eyes adjusting to the low light, and she saw what she always saw within. A little stove filled with flickering embers and ash, a few old shelves, bare except for some crumbling books, and a big bed, cloaked in thick curtains and piled high with hides and furs. When she stopped to light a candle, the curtains parted and a peering eye looked out inquisitively.
"Grandmother, is that you? Are you awake?"
asked Little Red Hood.
"Oh yes, dear, I am awake."
The thin, weak voice replied.
"Come closer. Oh, you are shivering with the cold. The fire has gone out. Why don't you take off your cloak and come get into bed with me and warm yourself?"
Shivering, she stepped slowly forward, and the voice from the bed said,
"Get in, my dear."
As she slipped in, her shivering became more intense, and the ancient frame groaned and creaked.